Hey, this is Marvin. Gonna record some because I really should record this earlier, but today I sit down and watched a little bit of season 6 of Buffy. It's really weird because when you watch shows at different points in your life, you get different things from them. You kind of pull something from a show that you might not have been able to pull a couple years ago, even just a year ago. I was watching a couple episodes, and the last one that I watched was an episode called Gone, and basically in Gone, Buffy gets hit with this invisibility ray, and after she kind of had like a really kind of a rough day already, and she kind of uses this time as being invisible just to really just like escape from life, basically just do whatever she feels like doing, and just kind of felt a little bit out of character a little bit, but maybe that was the whole point, just to kind of like escape from her life and responsibilities or whatever, and then she comes to realize that that after a while, well, once she kind of sees the repercussions of her actions, she really just can't do that without affecting others. And then two, that if she stays that way, then she's going to basically die. And so, it's pretty much guaranteeing her death. And so, and then once that hits her, she's like, ugh. And it comes at the end, it's like the end of the episode, because two things are going on. You got Buffy, playing with the whole invisibility thing, and then you got Willow, who is trying not to do magic or anything, which is like basically a analogy for drugs or addiction or any kind of addiction, whether it's drinking, drugs, whatever it may be. And so and at the end of the episode, they both just kind of meet and kind of talk a little bit. They're like, Willow talks about how hard it was that day not to do a spell or anything to make life easier on herself, and but she managed to get through it. And then Buffy, well, she doesn't say what her problem is, but I guess exactly what her addiction is. But she just mentions that basically, a first time in a while since she's been back, since they brought her back from the dead or whatever, that she didn't exactly, she didn't want to die. She wanted to stay with everyone. Maybe she wasn't like thrilled about it, but she was like, I really don't want to die. And so she actually took the actions to make sure that didn't happen. And so now it takes a couple more episodes all the way really to the very end of the season to get to the point to where she's like, okay, I'm okay fully again. But it's kind of like the start of that. And so I kind of pulled from that personally, just that it's important that because before the whole situation happened, or incident, or whatever I want to call it, I kind of didn't really want to take life too seriously. I kind of want to just flick off responsibilities, because I kind of felt like that spent for like the first 20 years of my life being responsible, for everyone and all this stuff that I didn't really ask to be responsible for. And I kind of just want to be in Never Never Land, which is, I didn't want any commitments. I didn't want, trying to avoid all responsibilities at most as much as I can. And, and just kind of like keep everything superficial and nothing, with depth or anything, because I didn't want to think about that. I didn't think about anything heavy, and so, not for any great length of time anyway. And so, that was kind of like equivalent of, not wanting to be responsible, not wanting to be responsible for anything. And then when this thing comes along, it's kind of like comes and throws me for a loop. It's like, whoa, okay, like, I have to think about this. This is like an everyday thing that I have to deal with. I can't avoid it like I avoid other things in life. And so, and while I'm not, I guess I won't say I'm like super okay with it, because I don't think I would be okay with it because it's not really something to be okay with. But you learn to manage it, and I know that I care about myself, and I want. There's still a lot of good things in life that I can have and obtain, and I want to have, and I don't want to let this just kind of like basically pull me down into like this deep void, of like nothingness, and just like, trying to forget about it all the time, because that's not gonna help, because I'm gonna have to think about it. It's in my face every day, you know. And so I don't have to let it run my life. I have to realize it's now a part of my life, and I have to deal with it accordingly, and keep things, or stay on top of things, and do things that are gonna, you know, make my life easier on myself, as well as add value to my life overall in the long run. And so that means going for goals like school, you know, make sure like school, that's an important thing for me to try to avoid school for the longest. And now I'm kind of ready, you know, to take that back on slowly, just bit by bit, but I'm working on it. And relationships with people, you know, relationships mainly with, when it comes to like love interest or romance, anything like that. Always try to avoid any kind of long-term connections like that. But as I get older, I realize, hey, you know, I need that and I want that. And yes, those do take work, and sometimes I don't feel like investing that work or time, or whatever. But it's important to have it, and it's really, it can really help you in the long run. And if you find the right person to do that with, and you're never really gonna know until you invest some time and energy to see into something, to see, okay, hey, you know, let's see where this can go. I can't just like say, okay, you know, ooh, this is fun for tonight, and then just let them go. You know, I have to like kind of like try to invest some time and really get to know people, and then, you know, after some time has passed, then say, okay, either I'm ready to go for this or I'm not. And it's not going to be an overnight process, you know, and it's not always going to be all fun times. But when you find someone that you really care about, it should be about not just enjoying the good times together, but also the bad times and the boring times, and just, you know, everything in between, and all the memories and things that come along with that, because it's worth it in the end, you know, and you both are better off for it. And so I guess my big message to that is just not to be afraid to do that, because you know, because you know, the time investment, or getting attached, or opening up to someone, you shouldn't let that kind of fear stop you, especially if it's something that's really going to be good for you in the long run. And so these are things I have to think a little bit more about now. Things are like more important to me are really starting to come to the forefront, as well as the more frivolous things are starting to go. I mean, I still have a few frivolous things. I just can't totally stop. I mean, that's always going to be a part of life. But, you know, as for my life being all about just, you know, ooh, funness, nothing serious, you know, it can't always be like that. And it would probably get boring if it was always like that. You know, you need a little balance of the heavy and the light and the soft and the hard. You know, that's all part of life. And so that's kind of what I want to say. And just watching that scene, kind of hit home a little bit with me. It kind of felt like kind of touched my heart a little bit. And so, you know, while life will never be what it was, you know, even a year ago from now, or a year ago last year, or whatever, you know, I can still make a good life. I can still have a great life, and I really don't have to let anything stop me from doing what I love to do, or seeing what I want to see. Just gotta make sure I make good choices now, and do things that are gonna benefit me, you know, now, a couple months now, a couple years from now, a couple decades from now, you know, and kind of what I want to say about that. And where I'm at now. Now, I have an apartment, have a car, pretty much do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. I'm in school, have great friends, have great family support, I have good social life, so, you know, got insurance, and so I can pay all my bills, have a decent paying job, you know, to cover my bills anyway. And so I really have everything I need to be, you know, to have, you know, a decent life. And so I really can't sit up and complain or mope or be all depressed about things. It's because, I mean, I still am doing really good. And so, it's kind of what I want to say. And get that out. I think it's good to kind of have time to reflect and just say things that are on your mind, or things you've been meaning to get recorded. And maybe I'll sit back one day and listen to this and be like, hey, there's like a reminder, which I probably will. And so, that's what I want to say. I'm totally done. Okay, bye.